In this video, I'm taking you to explore the top things to do in Sri Lanka.
Welcome to Sri Lanka.
Welcome to Sri Lanka.
Let's start with the Coconut Tree Hill and the Coconut Beach. Welcome to the Coconut Beach, which is the beach in Maresa. This is really nice and it's so gorgeous and it's really popular with the surfers. This place was made famous by some Instagram influencers with some gorgeous photos. And yes, it is a really picturesque spot, but it is also a beautiful beach. It is quite popular with surfers because of the excellent conditions. And it is also a great spot if you just want to chill at the beach for the day. What I really liked was that it's not as busy as Unawatuna and some of the other beaches because there's small pockets of beach throughout this area. So I would definitely give this a high recommendation. Number 9 on my list is Kandy, and this city is the cultural capital of Sri Lanka. The city is not very big, but it is picturesque and beautiful, and I would definitely recommend checking out the Royal Botanical Garden, which is actually much bigger than I expected and has a ton of beautiful plants. Perhaps the biggest reason for going to Kandy is to check out the temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You will not be able to see the tooth itself, but you will be able to visit the temple, which is actually quite a big complex. And while you're in Kandy, don't forget to check out the West Stands. I just cannot recommend it highly enough. Next on my list of top things to do in Sri Lanka is Sigiriya. And yes, it is a small village, but it actually has the 8th wonder of the world. The Lion Rock of Sigiriya is built on a beautiful rock that hovers almost as if in space, and there's nothing like it for miles and miles around. Getting to the top of it requires more than 1,000 steps, but it is definitely worth it. And while you're here, don't forget to check out the Pidirangula, especially for the sunset. It is stunning because you also get to see the Sigiriya Rock from there. I'm sure you don't want to miss some more beautiful destinations around the world, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Sigiriya was not just a palace for the king, it was an entire complex, including beautifully manicured lush green gardens, which also adorned beautiful swimming pools. Some of them are still intact. And we are heading to a national park called Udawalawe for some safari and to meet a lot of my favorite animals in the entire world, elephants. It is so nice to see these beautiful elephants just roaming around freely on their own. It is a beautiful national park. You can hire the safari jeep right at the door and go around. There are tons of elephants and it is a great chance to meet a lot of birds, a lot of beautiful animals which are indigenous to Sri Lanka. While we're on the topic, I would definitely recommend skipping the Pinnavala Elephant Sanctuary and heading to Udawalawe instead because it's so nice to meet these beautiful creatures roaming around freely, having a lot of fun instead of being caged and chained. I spent an entire day and honestly, I just couldn't get enough of these beautiful animals. If you're lucky, you might also get to see a cheetah here. I'm sure you already know this, but I'm just gonna say it again. Please do not touch any animals, do not try to get close to any of them, do not feed them, and most importantly, do not try to provoke them for a reaction. Number 6 on the list is the highland city of Ella. Ella is packed full of adventures. There's so many things here, whether you are an adrenaline junkie and want to do ziplining, or you just want some nature and want to go explore a waterfall, Ella has it all for you. It is also perhaps the most touristy Western city that I found in Sri Lanka, with a lot of Western style cafes, but there are a lot of local people and businesses, and I would definitely recommend supporting them. You can also go for a tea plantation and tea factory visit, which I highly recommend. Have you ever seen a tea flower? This is what it looks like. Ella is also great for hiking and adventure. I did Little Adams Peak and absolutely loved it. I would definitely recommend doing at least one hike here. Sri Lanka is blessed with a lot of beautiful beaches, and this has to be one of my favorites, the Tangalle beach. While the other beaches like Turtle Beach, Unavatuna, etc. are quite busy, Tangalle is a little bit further south and it's not busy at all. Actually, the day I visited, I was the only person on the beach, which was absolutely incredible. The entire area has a lot of gorgeous beaches and you can have your pick whichever beach you want to go. I also visited a really beautiful spa nearby, so it is also a great spot if you just want to have some relaxation and rejuvenation. Next on my list of top things to do in Sri Lanka is the beautiful city of Galle. It used to be the busiest port at one point in the history of Sri Lanka and has a lot of colonial architecture. A lot of the beautiful places have been renovated and are used for tourist purposes, but it is an absolutely amazing city. It even has a lighthouse, tons of churches, temples, etc. Perhaps the most amazing thing about Galle is its sunset though. You can sit on the city walls or the ramparts and see the beautiful sunset, which I definitely recommend you don't miss. By the way, if you want more details for any of these places, I have made separate video for each topic, so check out my Sri Lanka playlist. For our next spot, we are going to Little England in Sri Lanka. Yes, I'm talking about Norelia. This highland city has a lot of colonial architecture and you will get to see these beautiful buildings in the shape of Tudor mansions. The old post office is another example of it. And it's really fascinating to see all this. You can do a high tea, which I definitely recommend at the Grand Hotel. They have beautiful gardens. And obviously no visit to Norelia is complete without a visit to the Hortons Plains. I spent an entire day exploring waterfalls, beautiful dead drops, and obviously met a sambar deer, which was an absolute pleasure. Welcome to Hortons Plains! Number 2 on my list is Colombo, which is the capital of Sri Lanka. And yes, it is a very busy city, and yes, it is overwhelming when you actually first get there, but it grows on you and you also get to see the real side, the real face of Sri Lanka with the day-to-day life of people. What I really enjoyed was seeing that there are so many places of worship, some of them really stunning, like the Jamia Ol Al-Far Mosque in Petta area, and then seeing the Hindu temples in the old part of the city, as well as the Ganga Ramaya and other Buddhist temples. It is such a beautiful place that brings all this religious tolerance, which I really enjoyed. And don't forget, because it's a big city, you also get to try a lot of different types of food. Number 1 on my list is not a place per se, but it is an experience and one that I honestly loved above everything else in Sri Lanka. The train ride from Kandy to Ella. While I only did the journey from Norelia to Ella, it was still really beautiful. It took about 5 hours and I had such amazing views that I just can't forget that amazing experience. The train changes scenery so many times, it goes through so many tunnels. You get to see some amazing waterfalls, beautiful valleys, lots of tea plantations, beautiful Hortons Plains, and so much more. Don't forget, you can also hang out near the door, but please be careful. I did that and later I was just scratching my head like, why would I do that? But it was just too beautiful to care at that time. Honestly, there's a lot more to see and do in Sri Lanka. It is a really beautiful country, but these are my top 10 favorite places in this beautiful, beautiful country. This is Brown Boy Travels. Do subscribe, like and share. You can also reach me on Instagram. I'll see you in the next video.